Good day, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to wherever you are listening to this in the world. Welcome to our Between the Posts podcast, where we talk about the week's action that has just happened over the previous game week here in the world of football. Russell, Farik, how are you guys doing? How was your weekend?
Amazing. Arsenal
Good. Yeah.
drawing at the London Stadium after being 2-0 up. Oh, what a sight! What a sight to see. The collapse has begun. I told you all the collapse is gonna start soon after the Liverpool game. The collapse. Oh, I've been waiting for this, man. I've
Mhm.
been waiting for this collapse.
Farik, good weekend for you too, I imagine.
Good week. Good weekend. Interesting results across the whole of the EPL over the weekend. So yeah, that's always nice to see. But yeah, we'll talk about
Oh
those.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, I mean, like I am running on very little sleep, guys. Watched so much football over the weekend. Watched multiple other sports as well. Oh, but like you know what? Like I am refreshed in the sense that like I am laughing at Arsenal. Arsenal almost pulling a Tottenham.
I remember seeing a stat somewhere.
Oh, hilarious!
I
Absolutely
remember seeing a
hilarious.
stat somewhere on Twitter that said that this is the first time that they've blown two nil leads back to back since like what 04 05. So like
Wow.
yeah it's quite insane.
It is crazy. Yeah. So
So
like, I
it's
guess let's just dive
concerning
into
as
it,
well.
guys. Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's just dive into it because
Yeah.
like we've got a lot of ground to cover. For those of you that are watching for the very first time, we are going to be covering it like this. We're going to be looking at the title race, then we're going to be looking at the race for Europe, and then we're going to be covering the relegation battles. So, first things first, title race. We said a little bit about Arsenal. Let's talk a little bit about that game at the London Stadium. 2-0 up within the first 10 minutes, 2-2 at full time, Saka missing a penalty. Um, I don't know. Farik, reactions.
It's yeah, it's weird because like you said they were 2-0 up in the first 10 minutes and they looked great. Like you thought okay, once they were 2-0 up, like they're just gonna breeze through this. And then I think West Ham's resilience started to show, and I think it was what surprised me was how shaky they were at set pieces, because I think last year when they were a lot more solid at defending set pieces, and like this year was just I mean yesterday it was just I think
Mm.
both of the big chances that they got came from set pieces. There was the one that and Mikel Antonio almost got a header into goal from a free kick, and then of and
Yep.
the second goal was it was a corner that went out, and then the second ball back in found Jared
Mhm.
Bowen, and like yeah,
Yep.
they're just so disorganized at set pieces, and it's a very strong tell. And like if teams, especially Man City, if they see such a weakness, I guess they're going to capitalize on it when because are they visiting? No, they're playing at the Etihad, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal and Man City. Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a very big chink in their armor that they have to sort out soon.
Oh, definitely. Like the thing is that that is probably the most unlikely assist that Paqueta is ever gonna have in his entire career. For
Yeah.
a start, like an up and under that really didn't have any hope of. He didn't have any hope behind it. He was just hitting it and hoping,
I
hoping, hoping.
I would disagree with
But
that. I
like
think he was
Russell,
aiming.
like
I think Paqueta intended that, but he tries it so much that now it becomes like it's a hit and hope. That's a short thing about Paqueta. I think he's been a flop. Like West Ham expected more from him. Like he has definitely not helped them. Like I think West Ham played better without him. But there'll be another thing for the end of the season. We talk about all the flops of the season. Yeah, but yeah, Arsenal just look shaky, man. After going 2-0, the first 20 minutes, wow. I thought it was gonna be a massacre, like
they looked
how
amazing. Yeah, first
yeah,
twenty
like how Man
minutes.
City put away Leicester. I thought like it looked like on the same track. So 2-0 up in 10
Hmm.
minutes. They're just cruising. But then I think they started getting complacent. That's where the complacency kick in. And they haven't been in this position before. There's no leaders to like guide them. They're all like Like they keep saying they're young team, but I mean, this kind of thing are basics in football where you just have to not put your head down and just like play at a snail's pace. Because West Ham are fighting for their lives at the bottom. They can't lose like by a lot of goals. Like you cannot expect them like, oh, West Ham 2-0 down, they're gonna lose 4-5-0. Like it, the relegation battle at the bottom really looks, it can go down to goal difference. It's so tight. It's like a few
Mm-hmm.
games, like 1-2 wins, and
Yeah.
you slip up. Yeah, so they let West Ham back in with Thomas Partey giving the ball away cheaply, Declan Rice intercepting, giving off to Antonio, and then Gabriel Mangalis going in for a tackle, which wasn't necessary. It was very sloppy. Like he just like, oh, let's go
Mm.
and tackle here. Like he stood up and took it 1-on-1, and the guys like somehow like beat him and scored. I think it's better than just
Mm-hmm.
going flying in. A
Yeah.
penalty is almost like a free goal in a sense, but not for Arsenal. It's not free. They don't like to take penalties. So once they got that goal, I felt like anything could happen. Like you could see the Arsenal panicking. You could see they went in panic stations. After that, all the way up to
Mm-hmm.
halftime, West Ham was on them. Like you can sense, like West Ham could sense blood, and they went for it. Didn't get a goal before halftime, but at the second
Yeah.
half
I
they
mean,
continued. Yeah, they continued.
no, I'm just thinking like, for all of their qualities, right? This doesn't strike me as a vintage Arsenal side, and like they don't have that hallmark of like the great Arsenal teams of yore. And I think this is because it's actually been, for all of its supposed closeness, this has actually been a very poor year for a title race, because we've had two teams that have honestly slipped up more than they should have, right? I mean, we'll get to Man City in a bit, but like I just think like, it's only been a good title race in the sense that it's close, rather than excellent, qualitatively excellent football from the two teams that are involved. Um, yeah, but like, yeah, I mean, just you don't blow 2-0 leads 2 games in a row
Yeah,
and expect to be considered, like, I don't know, as some Arsenal fans would say, better league title winners than previous Champions League winners. So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I do wish I could have some of what Arsenal fans are smoking, though, guys. Easy as they come. Haaland bagging another couple of goals. De Bruyne with his 100th assist in the Premier League. Like, how is that? How did that play out in your eyes? Raf, let's start with you.
well, walk in the park for them. Simple. Like 25
Mm.
minutes done. Everybody started to relax. But the thing about when Man
Yeah,
City relax, they just shift the gear down, but
they
their
don't
gear,
switch off.
yeah, they don't switch off. They, they I mean,
Mm.
I heard one of the Arsenal fans that, oh, after they drew with West Ham, he did an interview. He said, oh, the last 20 minutes of the Man City game, they look sluggish. They look complacent. I'm like, that's the last 20 minutes. They said the game was done in
Mm.
25. And it's all sub, or they're bringing
Yeah.
all the players that are like youngsters coming on. They're going there for a run out. It's
Mm.
almost like a training session for them. They did the job in 25. They've been doing this for a while. A lot of people don't realize why their players don't get tired, because they kill the game off so fast that they get to rest all
Mm-hmm.
their star players. Like Haaland was off halftime. He's been off halftime for the past how many games? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Pep has been taking out always, so you
Mm-hmm.
always score 2 goals in the first half and it's off. Easy performance for them. After the 3-0, they were just strolling. But the one thing about Man City that is a bit worrying is they always concede goals. They haven't quite kept a clean sheet for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the only worrying thing for them. Like I would like to see them keeping more clean sheet, because when they come out against Arsenal in the future, Arsenal is very good on attack, so their defense has to be solid. But I think if they're really on it, they managed to keep Bayern Munich at bay. So if they want to turn it on, they can just get a clean sheet. I think this Man
Mm-hmm.
City team is, they always do this every year. They peak at the right time. They just know when to peak, and it's the scariest thing because they're still in 3 competitions and fighting. It means that like they got a chance for a treble. I really hope that doesn't happen. But
Yeah.
and their peak, like they might be the best team in Europe now at the moment. The way they play, like the only hope
Mm.
is
A word on Haaland, actually.
uh,
Yeah. Well,
uh,
I mean, hope springs eternal in that sense. Farik, a word about Haaland. Yeah. He has already scored in just 30 matches. He's already scored 32 goals, matching Mo Salah's total for the Golden Boot a few years back. Like, Uh, I think there were a few pundits that said Haaland has broken the Premier League. Like, what do you think?
I think it's it's down to two things, I guess. Firstly, you can't deny that Haaland is a prodigious talent in terms of goal scoring. Like we've seen, he's been running behind defenders, he's been scoring tap-ins, he's been scoring insane like Zlatan-esque goals. So
Mm.
his ability to
Mm-hmm.
score is definitely like there. But it more than anything, also he's in a team where you have so many insane creators. I think when I was looking at Man City stats last season, they had I think a good like 8 or 10 different players who scored more than 5 goals, which and they didn't have
Mm-hmm.
really have an outright top scorer for the season. And when you have all those
Mm-hmm.
creators and now they have an outlet in Haaland, I mean like it, Haaland just has his pick, so it's he is pretty much the perfect player for Man City's setup. I mean, so there are people who criticize that,
Mm-hmm.
say that maybe because they are so focused on trying to get the ball to Haaland that it kind of like takes away from the whole team, but he's
Mm-hmm.
breaking records left, right, and center. And yes, Man City might not be at the top of the table currently, but on form, you can always back Haaland to score every single match. So it's he has he broken the Premier League? Uh, Maybe. Uh, Unless he for me, it's for a. I always put Ronaldo at Real Madrid as sort of like that
Mm.
benchmark, because when you get more than one goal a game at average, I feel like that's truly breaking a league, because who scores more than one goal a game on average? Yeah. So if
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
all things considered, if somehow Man City get a hold of Jude Bellingham, that might
Phew.
be the next step next season. So you never know. Yeah, but yeah, he I don't think he's broken the Premier League yet, but he's definitely on the way to doing that.
That would be breaking the Premier League. That
Oh.
duo might be breaking the league itself. Like, I think the thing about Haaland, just touching on it, he missed a few games with injury. A lot of people forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
And those games that he missed were against
Mm-hmm.
like the bottom half of the table. One can only imagine
Mm-hmm.
if he was fit for all the games. Oh wow, he's a different monster
I
lah. He's a
believe
different.
he's a cyborg. What?
Yeah,
Like, and the thing is that, like, if you look at his traits in isolation, I think Russell, you've mentioned this before.
yeah.
He doesn't have, he can't dribble, right? And like his first touch is only good when it's in front of goal. If it's his first touch everywhere else on the pitch is, well, not Lukaku-esque, but like questionable enough. But
On par, on
like,
par.
that's the thing. He on par. There we go. I mean, we're being kind here.
Yeah.
Um but the dude just manages to be in the right place at the right time all the time. You yeah, he is a monster of a player. And the thing is that, like, I guess for the first half of the season when they were still adjusting to him, he was still scoring goals, but Man City weren't getting the results. Could
Yeah.
it then be argued that our Man City should be in front of this title race, all things being equal?
I
What do you
think.
guys think?
Fari, go ahead first.
I think, yeah, on form you would think, like, especially with some of the insane scorelines that Man City have racked up, that you would think that they would be ahead of the table right now. But that I think that's
Yeah.
the beauty of the EPL, in a sense of like, you would, as
Mm,
dominant as a team is, there's always some other team to come up and sort of like pressure the leaders. I mean, Arsenal obviously this season, but then there's a point of time when both Man United and Newcastle were also pushing for
Mhm.
top spot, and I think Spurs for like
mhm.
a week or two. So that drama is what
Spurs, you
keeps
mean 3 days, right?
for like 3 years. It was really for a split
Yeah, three
second,
days. Yeah,
but the fact that
yeah.
you have so many contenders, like uh, at least in the first half of the
Hmm.
season for top spot, as Sir Alex
Hmm.
Ferguson used to say, like usually once around Christmas and all that, that's when the table kind of like sorts itself out. But I think this is the
Hmm.
furthest
Yeah.
in into a season where we see that maybe the title race isn't as complete as it isn't as done as we thought that it was gonna be. So yeah, it's all
Mm.
things considered, Man City should be top, but then yeah, Arsenal are just giving a hell of a fight.
Mhm.
Okay. I guess we'll preview the match closer to the date in our next
Yeah.
episode, right? But that 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 game at the Etihad between City and Arsenal is
Wow.
starting to really get it's getting really really big right now, in front of us. So Russell, like, okay, you want to call it right now? Who do you think is going to win the title?
I think I wanted
You
to
think
just
it's
touch on
City? You
what
think it's Arsenal?
City is gonna win because City gave Arsenal a start because they weren't clicking.
Yeah.
That's the thing with a new player in like
Mm.
Haaland, they weren't clicking. They gave Arsenal a head start. We give
Hmm.
you this. I think at one point was what 11? Was
Yeah.
it 11 points? Like we give you this head start. What you
Yeah.
wanna make of it? You do.
Hmm.
When we click, we're gonna come and catch you. If you start fumbling, we'll be there behind you. Yeah, sure. They, I think it was that when Arsenal lost to Everton, all their games, right? If they didn't if they didn't lose and they
Hmm.
just kept up their form, they'd be far away from Man City. Once Man City
Hmm.
smells blood in the water, it is over. They're like a shark. They'll catch you. Liverpool has seen it 98 to
Hmm.
99 points. That's ridiculous. I
Hmm.
think Man City didn't lose all the last how many games? I think last 10 games they didn't lose something like that. And
Hmm.
now Arsenal did let it slip. Like they really had it in their hands. The complacency, I think
Hmm.
they were listening too much to their fans. The fans costed Arsenal. They're like, oh,
Hmm.
it's our title. Yeah. Nah, man. It's never your title if Man City is the one chasing you. If Man City is not there, you minus Man City, yeah,
Yeah.
it's your title. We've seen it before when the previous times in EPL, right? There's always a one like outright winner. They never came to
Hmm.
this tight of a title race for a very long time until Man City was in the picture.
Yeah.
United fans, we know it. We
Mm.
lost a goal difference. Was it 1 point or goal difference? See,
Goal difference.
we've been there.
Goal difference.
Yeah,
Goal
we've been
difference.
there. You
Yeah,
see,
we've been
if
there.
it wasn't Man City, we were far away. The guys behind like Man City were far away. It's always a outright winner. Now it's like because Man City is there, you have to perform at 120% all the time when you play. You cannot slip up. You slip up one
Hmm.
game, they're there. Yeah. So it's Arsenal. It's City's title. I'm sorry to all the Arsenal fans, but you let it slip.
Sorry, not sorry though, because like, oh
Yeah,
my god,
actually,
some of you guys
I
are
actually really
so
don't care about you all.
delusional.
To be honest,
Jeez.
I look forward to
Yeah.
your failure all the time.
Okay. I mean, it's good that you mentioned United there because let's go on to the race for Europe, right? Newcastle, Tottenham dropping points, Villa with a massive win
Oof.
over Newcastle, Brighton and Liverpool are probably duking it out for the last spot for the Europa Conference League, and Brighton again massive victory over Chelsea. Liverpool will be playing
Massive?
later tonight, I guess,
Will
against
it be
Leeds,
considered
right?
massive?
Well, it's massive for Leeds because they're in a relegation
No, I mean
battle,
the Brighton victory over.
and it's well, okay. I guess in the context of the opposition, we've talked a lot about Chelsea over the last week, guys. So let's not stick the knife
Yeah,
in too
yeah,
much
yeah,
today. Um, but I think we should probably celebrate Brighton a bit more rather than crap on Chelsea a little bit, because like Brighton flying high in seventh,
yeah.
Villa flying high in sixth. Villa on basically Champions League top four form ever
Yeah.
since Unai Emery joined. But yeah, speaking of the Champions League, how's the Champions League picture playing out for you guys? We'll start with you, Russell.
Oh, sorry for the background noise. There's a bit of a lot of things going on in my place. Yeah, the
That's
well,
that's cool. No problem.
nobody's guaranteed anything at the moment. It's so tight
Hmm.
there. Like Brighton, after coming off a ridiculous VAR call against them last week, they should have gotten 3 points
Hmm.
against Spurs, but now
Hmm.
they got a victory against Chelsea, keeping up that the charge for European football. Even Villa, you see, like
Hmm.
no now all the teams are at this stage of the very crucial period of the league where everybody has something to fight for. Like I
Hmm.
think Villa is on some crazy win streak.
Except for
I think that
Chelsea.
and maybe we're not talking about it. They're not part of this. This conversation, like they are far behind. So um like Villa is speaking. Wow, the way the football they're playing, dismantling
Mm.
Newcastle. No, Newcastle has been solid defensively the whole season. I
Hmm.
think they have yet to concede more than three. I don't think they. I think this is a second time they conceded more than three. I don't think they have conceded more than three much this season.
Hmm.
They're like I think they have the United now have overtaken them the most clean sheets, but Pope is on 13, I guess. So they built their team on as a defensive team, and Aston Villa just dismantled them. That's how on form Villa is, and I
Mm,
won't be surprised they make it for to get Europa League football. Unai Emery is a tactician. You can see the way he set up, and once he goes 1-0, 2-0 up,
mm,
he's not gonna let it sleep. He knows what he
mm.
needs to do. There's a reason why he has won like the trophies he has won, because he is a reputable manager. He knows what it takes at the highest level. And you can see the Villa players have bought into this philosophy, and they're playing out. They're playing very
Mhm,
good football. No, even though some people say it might be boring, but if you get the results, and the team is disciplined in the structure you play your game, the results will come, and Villa is
mhm.
reaping the rewards of all this.
On that point, actually, Russell, like you mentioned Newcastle and their defensive record, right? Here's some nice stats for you. Even after that 3-0 pummeling by Aston Villa, Newcastle still have the best defensive record in the entire Premier League. They've only conceded 24 goals all season. They've scored 48. Their goal difference sits at a very nice 24.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just and the second in the Premier League after them in terms of defense is Man City, who've
Mhm.
only conceded 28. So yeah, looking at then what happened with the race for Europe here, Farik, we saw Tottenham give up a last no, not even last, it was like 95th minute goal in their loss. Yeah, where do you think Tottenham go from here? Do you think top four is still achievable for them, or it's the with the whole Conte saga still hanging over them in some way? That's going to be a hangover that's going to last for a while. But yeah, where does Tottenham go from here?
As someone used to say, like, this is the history of the Tottenham. So it's
Lads, it's Tottenham.
it's it's tough to say. It's weird, this Tottenham team, because if I were to bring up like any random player from Tottenham and ask you, is this a good player?
Mm,
You most probably say yes. Harry Kane,
mm,
yes. Son, yes.
yeah.
Ivan Perisic, yes. Hugo Lloris, yes. But they're so wishy-washy in terms of form. Like, they can click one moment and then just be totally in a mess the next moment. And I honestly wonder if what's missing is that they don't have the right kind of manager for them. Uh, you would think that Conte
Mm,
is that kind of manager because of all the accolades that he's won, but I don't
mm,
know whether it's the egos in the team,
Mm.
or is it the characters, because you know that as as uh, a, a group of people with diverse skill sets, they gel well. We've seen them
mm-hmm.
generate results this season. So I guess it all comes down to getting the right manager, I guess. But then again, who's going to be the right manager for them? Uh, Conte,
I
obviously.
think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mm. No, no, no. I mean, like when you say the right manager, I think that no matter what manager you throw at Tottenham, if you still have Daniel Levy as chairman, I think this is like the ceiling for them, fifth, sixth, around there. They're never going to get any higher than this because they have a chairman who is notorious for being, let's be kind, let's say value oriented. Than that, lads, it's Tottenham is a football cliche, and it's a cliche with truth to it, right? And yeah, I just think until they decide that they want to get rid of Levy as chairman, the shareholders, I think it's John, who's the majority shareholder in ENIC. Is it John Lewis? I forgot
Yeah.
his name. But like, unless he decides that like Daniel Levy isn't fit for purpose, then this is the only maximum that Tottenham are gonna achieve, if that.
I-
So
It's gonna be
yeah,
very
Russell, go
controversial
ahead.
what I'm gonna say, right? But
Hmm.
Spurs will never prosper as long as Kane is in the team. Because
Ooh.
I feel honestly like Kane has been there. I mean, I feel like he's there for his own it's like his own, like own accolades. He wants to capture all the individual accolades, and he doesn't even care about the team accolades. You can see like
Hmm.
if he was a player really motivated to do well, to capture like team accolades, but individual
Mm-hmm.
accolades, he would have left Spurs, seeing how it was,
Mm-hmm.
how the structure of the club is. He just looks like, okay, see, I'm here, I'm stuck here, I'm just gonna break. Like he doesn't mind moving. It's like if I move to another club, I have to challenge myself. I have
Mm-hmm.
to rethink my game. Like now he's so comfortable because everything's built around him. In a sense, like
Mm-hmm.
everybody play to Kane. Like if Kane doesn't play well, the team doesn't play well. But you cannot always rely on one player, and that player is like your captain. Your captain is supposed to be like, it's not about me. I don't need the individual
Mm-hmm.
accolades. Like I feel like he's always stuck there. He's signing another 4-year contract. Does he not want to win anything? I don't know why people don't question this. Like, why are you so contented? You're a world class player, but you're okay with zero titles to your name. Zero. How's that? How's that? That's a wild thing to me. Like, I'm so confused. Like, if you're a very good player and you trust your ability, you want to move away, what? Away and try to capture those titles like Robin van Persie. Like
Mm-hmm.
Kane is like, okay, I'm okay. I'll just sign another. They pay me the money. Yeah, sure. I will stay here, break the club records. Yeah, I try to get Golden Boot. The Golden Boot is not tied to Spurs. No, it's tied to him. So if he's getting Golden Boot, it's all
Mm-hmm.
his accolade. When he retires, he's like, oh, 5-time Golden Boot or something, but zero titles, zero Audi Cup. We're not going to consider that as a title, but it's a bit wild to me. It's really, like it's a bit wild. A person doesn't want to achieve anything at a team level in football. When football is a team sport, not an
Mm-hmm.
individual sport. So I'm like, I think they have to get. I think he has to move on. They have to rebuild the team, and
Mm-hmm.
then like
Mm-hmm.
I think they had an array of world class managers. They came in. It can't be the managers.
Mm-hmm.
Mourinho, all winners, all serial winners, all
Yeah.
disciplinarians, and you can't say that
Well,
it's because of them.
serial winners and Nuno, but
No, I mean, okay, but Nuno, I think Nuno did well in Liga Nos.
Oh
No,
yeah,
did he
yeah, yeah.
win? Yeah, I mean, all of them won something. Pochettino,
I
I
joke
feel they
about
shouldn't have
Nuno.
let and
Yeah.
shouldn't let Pochettino go. He was building something, but that's the problem with the board. They don't have the patience. Like, how can you
Mm-hmm.
like Pochettino brought them to the Champions League finals? A slump
And
in the following
second,
season. Yeah, a slump. Everybody goes through a slump. Like
mm-hmm.
they had to stay with him. Like he had a vision of how to bring Spurs to the top level, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. That's the Tottenham Hotspurs. Like the mentality is like, oh, not doing it, cut it, and try to bring on other players, other managers. They change their philosophy so many times. 4 at the back, 3 at the back, 5 at the back. How are your players gonna
Mm-hmm.
react to that? So it's just Spurs for
Mm-hmm.
you. Honestly, if I was a Spurs fan, I'll be super depressed. I wouldn't want to watch football anymore. That team really will give you depression. Certified, I tell you. I'm talking to some of my Spurs friends. They stopped watching football because of their team.
Mm. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, strong, coming in strong there, Russell. But yeah, I think he needs to move if he wants to win a league title. Manchester United. Um,
No,
but yeah,
thank you.
you wouldn't want him at United.
Nah, I don't think he has that killer mentality. Okay. Nah, I want Victor
Oh,
Osimhen. And he's not hungry anymore. I don't think
okay.
he has that hunger. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Quick word about United, right? While we're on the subject that I brought up because me. 2-0 against Forest. As comfortable as they come, I guess. No dramas, even though another injury to the list. Is Sabitzer doing his groin adductor muscle apparently in the warm up. Yeah. So, United to finish third, Newcastle fourth, or the other way around.
Uh,
Farid, let's start with you. Yeah.
I think I would prefer Menu to win. To get third. I think that qualification game for Champions League is always a wild card.
Mm-hmm.
So just
Hmm.
to get the guaranteed spot is very important for the team, and also for the optics of it as well. Like Menu were challenging for the title for that split second, and then like dropped out almost immediately. But then by all uh means like all expectations coming into this season, Eric Ten Hag is actually overperformed the team.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm.
the the fact that we're
Sorry.
still in like
Farid. quick fact check for you. All teams first to fourth all go straight directly into the group stage of the
Huh?
Champions League.
Ah,
There's no playoff now.
No, no, okay.
However, this affects the seeding,
mm,
Oh,
okay,
like the
okay.
seeding of like so the whoever finishes fourth could end up in a group of death
yep.
in next season's
Mm,
Champions League. But
uh,
yeah, sorry, just wanted to
yeah,
correct you there. But please
yeah,
continue.
yeah. No, yeah, because I yeah totally forgot about that because I think they've changed the rules for qualification quite a bit over the past few years. But yeah, but
Yeah.
in I I think yeah, being third still bodes better for Man United because like yes, you get Champions League football regardless of the way, but then you kind of
Hmm.
want to be top of that chasing pack, like to show that
Hmm.
okay, we are really at that next step to
Hmm.
challenge for the title. Like I said, Eric Ten Hag
Hmm.
has overperformed with the team this season, and
Oh yeah, 100%.
like, getting third means that okay, then we just need to invest that bit more to get to the next level. Obviously the owners are still in flux now. We don't know whether it's going to be Glazers next season or it's going to be uh new owners. But
Qatar or
yeah,
Ratcliffe
Yeah.
or I don't know, some unknown investment group from the US that nobody has ever heard about, but apparently are
yeah,
worth
The Glazers
billions.
are
So
being
yeah,
greedy.
yeah,
The Glazers are being greedy. Yeah.
yeah. All that aside, but yeah,
that's consistent.
yeah, being third also attracts all these players that they will want to bring in your Victor Osimhen's, your or even like
Yes.
your Harry Kane's, your uh
Mbappe.
the that so the I pretty much for to go to the back to larger conversation of who's going to qualify for Europe. I feel like it's still Newcastle and Man United's to lose. I don't think the other teams
Mhm.
are they are in good form, but I don't think they're going to be able to catch up. I mean, Spurs have
Okay.
obviously dropped off. Yeah, Brighton and Villa are in there, but then I feel like yeah, the momentum is with Man United and Newcastle still.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Russell, you agree with
I
that?
mean,
That assessment?
United, Ten Hag's doing a crazy job given our how thin our squad is. We have one of the thinnest squads
Mm-hmm.
now. We only have like we have so much injuries. Like our back four, three of our like yesterday's game, three of our starting back four did not play. Are injured out. I
Mm-hmm.
think two of them, like maybe Varane and Licha, maybe will be out for the season.
For the
Shaw not
season,
too
yeah.
sure. Yeah, Dalot had to fill in
Mm-hmm.
at left back, and our squad is
Scored a
really
goal.
thin. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got to go. What a goal though!
Mm.
Brilliant play,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony. But
From.
yeah, I mean, talk like the squad alone, like for him to be doing what Ten Hag is doing what he's been doing with this squad, with players, it's not even his players that he want. Not all of them is like the players that he would choose
Mm-hmm.
for his. It's just like okay, because he can't just come in and buy 11 players as I want all this. He has to make do with some of them, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
there's, he's gained a lot of respect, and a lot of the players have bought into his philosophy and his discipline. Like
Okay.
you look at him on the
Yeah.
touchline, I'll be scared to play, man. I'm scared to be scared to make a mistake. One loose pass, he's shouting, no, he's on the ass all the time. So you see the players they know what is
Mm-hmm.
required of them, even though and
Yeah.
players also now stepping up when they need to. Anthony, we talk about Anthony now.
Mm-hmm.
He's a how much 80 million, 90 million when we paid for him. Was not he has
I
not
don't know.
had a yeah.
Every time we talk about Anthony's price tag, it seems to go up, especially
I
when you
think it's
ask
80 and
like
90. I think I'm
80
not saying.
million, yeah.
it's
Yeah, but other fans will say
it was
150. I don't know
85
why.
million pounds, 85
Okay,
million pounds, 100 million euros. That was
yeah.
his price. Yeah.
So so our key players like in Rashford, our key goal scorer this whole season, Rashford, out injured. Marshall just came back,
Mm-hmm.
and Anthony has been having a very shaky start to his United career. But yesterday, you see, when the time for him to
Mm-hmm.
step up, he stepped up, created so
Mm-hmm.
much, took shots.
Yeah.
He never looked out of
Scared.
confidence, even though when he plays, he
Yeah.
will take shots, even though the
Mm-hmm.
shots going wayward.
Uh,
Sometimes I get irritated, but
Actually, a
if
point to
I
that. What I realized when watching the game last night was that Anthony was sending the ball into the box with his right foot, which is super rare.
yeah, I was looking, yeah, I saw, I was like, okay, Ten Hag might. That's something I think Ten Hag might say. Because like professional
Mm-hmm.
footballer, no, you're not Robin. Bar Robin, Robin also
Mm-hmm.
still uses his right leg when he crossing sometimes, but when shooting's always on the left.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody knows what Anthony's gonna
Yeah.
do. Yesterday he changed it up a bit. He brought it down the byline because every time he cuts in. Every
Mm-hmm.
if I'm a defender and I know how you play, I'll just show you inside. I show you out. because you don't want to bring. But yesterday they showed him out and he still brought in some good balls in where I think Navas parried a few, missed like
Mm-hmm.
he went to missed out on a few United players. But yesterday Anthony was superb and his defensive
Okay.
work rate was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Just to wrap up the segment, race for Europe. Who is going to be taking the two Europa League spots and the Europa Conference League spot? Just quick prediction.
Mm,
So we've got your choices are Tottenham, Villa,
Hmm.
Brighton, Liverpool.
I I I would love to see Brighton in Europe. Uh,
Mm,
Although the caveat there is that if they do get Europe next season, I feel like their overall form might suffer due to more games.
Hmm.
But
yeah.
they have a good squad there, and I feel like they deserve European football.
Yeah.
Villa, off of just the insane comeback that they've had, yeah, I feel like they should be up there as well. Spurs, it's theirs to lose essentially, but yeah, yeah, out of the teams there, I feel like Villa and Brighton might be most deserving for like European Europa League and Conference League.
Yep. I think I
Okay.
agree with Farid
Alright, cool.
totally. Like I think Liverpool is not gonna push for. After a while, they realize they can't push for the European spots. They will just relax
Mm,
because it can be a year of rebuilding for them. Like
mm-hmm.
no European
They
football.
need to rebuild.
Yeah, they need. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they got very old squad, aging squad. So they when they bring new players in, the lesson it gives Klopp more time if he's still there to gel his players. So I think they might just say,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they want to play Conference League football. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I was like for United fan, if I was in this position Liverpool in, I would say do not push for that Conference League spot.
Mm,
Just let
yeah.
it be because no point traveling to countries so out of the way and it's like it's just gonna be it's not very good football. You're not gonna be really pushing yourself and testing yourself. So yeah,
Mm, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess I can understand that. I think to borrow a basketball term, they're probably going to tank their season just so that they don't
yep,
qualify for the Conference League. They're not in any danger of relegation. Like, not going to get relegated at all. I do think that a team that's still playing a 37-year-old James Milner in any position whatsoever does not deserve to be in the
yeah,
top six. But I guess that's just me. Okay, guys, let's move on to what is shaping up to be the craziest relegation scrap in years. The teams from let's okay, I'm gonna pull up the table here and have a look. From 20th all the way up to 13th, right? They are covered
yep,
by just 11 points, right? From
mm,
20th all the way up to 16th, they're covered by just 6 points. Southampton 20th, Leicester 19th, Forest 18th. Then you have Everton, Leeds, West Ham, and Bournemouth.
yep.
Okay, so of all of the relegation candidates yesterday, which one stood up most for you guys? Russ, you go first.
Has to be West Ham. What a result for West Ham.
Mm,
A point.
yeah.
And if you look at West Ham's upcoming fixtures, I think the last
Mm-hmm,
8 games,
mm-hmm,
I think they're playing the top. I think most majority of the games are against the top eight. If I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but they
mm,
have a very hard run in, and that point against Arsenal, what a point for them. At any point
mm-hmm,
at this crucial stage will be very helpful for them. If you, I think, yeah, the relegation battle this year is the table can just flip in 2 3 games. It's like
mm-hmm,
Southampton not out of it yet. Like a lot of people saying, "Oh,
mm-hmm,
Southampton, Leicester, and Forest are out of it." Nobody's out of
mm-hmm,
it. If Forest win 2 games, they overtake. They go up to 15. If the other two teams lose, it's
mm-hmm.
like you see like
Yeah.
live table when you watch like like the horse racing, or it
Yeah.
keeps going up and forth, back and forth. Yeah, it's like that. Nobody is safe.
Mm,
Like if we're talking about the top, we cannot slip up. The bottom, nobody can slip up. So whatever result you can get, a point can go a long way in for the season. And I might be keeping up with that. So when the bottom, like the 15 to 20th teams play, I might go and watch because they're gonna be giving their heart and soul, man, to stay up. So it'll be
mm.
very passionate football. You see, like especially the last 8 games. And now it's like the last 8 games, 7 games. Yep, it's gonna be good football. Yeah.
I think some key matches for West Ham. Their next game is against Bournemouth, the classic
Okay.
relegation six-pointer. And then the game after that is against Liverpool. Liverpool that
Yeah.
is probably very disinterested in finishing the season. And after that, they have Palace. So three very winnable
Okay.
games for West Ham, actually, after this. Very winnable.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
if you were to look at West Ham's performance against Arsenal as like a barometer for how they're gonna push for the NFC, they're obviously not gonna give up in this race. I mean, even though they do have a game in hand, so they look
Hmm.
a bit safer. But like Russ said, they have a lot of key matches against like the top eight teams. So, but
Hmm.
the fact that they could get a point against Arsenal shows that they're not gonna uh, roll over easy. They're gonna give their
Hmm.
110% each game, and it's gonna be a very interesting run in. I think out of all the relegation candidates, I feel like West Ham is the biggest toss up out of all of them because you wouldn't want them to go down given the 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 squad that they have. I think the
Hmm.
same can be said for to a certain extent Nottingham Forest. They've spent so much money on the squad, but then to still go down. But yeah, I think the most interesting team in the relegation battle is going to be West Ham for sure.
Mm.
So just to go on from that, right? So after that run of three very winnable games, they then come up against Man City. Yeah, they have Man City. After that, followed by Manchester United, followed by Brentford. Who are mid-table at the moment, and then two games to end the season that are extremely critical. Leeds, game 37, and game 38 will be on the final day of the season against Leicester.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
Ooh.
they've got a very interesting run in. I think West Ham's survival is in their own hands. To be honest,
Yeah.
even if they lose both games against United and City, all the rest, honestly, on paper, very winnable for West Ham. So I think they're gonna stay up.
Yeah,
Although if they do go down, wouldn't mind Declan Rice
Yeah.
exchanging claret and blue for red. Just saying, you know. Um,
In this relegation
Go on, Russ.
battle,
Yeah.
I think 40
Mm-hmm.
points. Once you get 40, you're kind of safe, I guess.
Mm,
I think 40 is the benchmark, and like West Ham are 9 points away from 40. So I
that's
think
correct. Yeah.
I don't think I'm sure they will stay up. Like I'm not. They
Mm-hmm.
are not the ones below, like the least until Southampton. That's where the a lot of drama will be, because
Mm.
yeah, like not well, like what Farid said about Nottingham, they spend a lot of money in the team. It's just
Oh yeah.
not clicking. Yeah, I think too many players coming at one time is always gonna be a question marks all around, and this is a result. You're gonna be 18 in the league, but still tight on points with Everton on 17 should save, but just goal difference. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. I think Nottingham will pull it out. I'm sure for me, like my prediction for the ones that will go down is Southampton, Leicester, and Everton. I think Everton will not make it.
Forest though. Forest look like they have a even tougher run in. Because after last night's game against United, they've got Liverpool next, followed by Brighton, Brentford, Southampton, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Palace. So of those games, you'd look at, okay, maybe they've got Southampton they could beat.
Yep.
Brentford will be tough, but they could pull out a result against Brentford. Brighton will be tough, but Brighton are chasing Europe. Chelsea have checked out for the season. Liverpool have checked out for the season. Arsenal will be in the middle of a title race.
Yep.
And it's Palace who are potentially fellow relegation candidates.
How many
You
of
know
the games are
that they
home
have.
games for Nottingham?
Let's.
3 games.
The game against Brighton, yeah, Brighton, Southampton, and Arsenal. Those are their home games.
I think those are the ones like when the relegation comes, the home games are the most important ones for the teams. Like
Mhm.
I think Nottingham had done quite well at home. I think they beat Man City, right? At home,
They drew, I think.
They beat Liverpool. They
they
beat
beat
Liverpool at
Liverpool,
home.
or they drew Man
Yeah,
City at home.
beat
See,
Liverpool at home.
so I think like their
Mm.
home, the games that they got at home, the three games at home, they have to win.
Mhm. Yeah.
doesn't matter who the opponent is, they have to win the three game and hope that the away ones just get a draw, few draws. My lot, but I mean they're gonna lose to Arsenal. That's a given because there's like the guys chasing for the title versus the relegation. It's gonna be a hard game, but Arsenal might. Actually, we never know. Because man, if
Yeah.
West Ham gave Arsenal a game, Nottingham can give Arsenal a game, given the circumstances they are in.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. From one big name to another, we haven't been mentioned much, but Everton sitting all the way down in 18th place, 17th place. Uh, what do you guys think? Will Everton finally be relegated from the top flight?
It's gonna be sad when they do. I think they are one of the longest running teams in the top flight, if I'm
Hmm.
not mistaken. And the I've always had like this I wouldn't say admiration, but like a deep respect for Everton because like especially from the David Moyes days, like they have always overperformed in a sense, like despite not having
Mm-hmm.
like marquee names in their squad, but uh yeah, if they do go down this season, it'll be quite sad, and especially given that the names that they lost in both transfer windows, they lost
Mm-hmm.
Richarlison in summer, and then of winter they lost Anthony Gordon, so they don't really have much firepower up front, and I guess it's telling that they haven't been able to score goals, and they've just been haven't been able to keep clean sheets at the back, despite Jordan Pickford being an insane goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I hope they stay up, but yeah, all signs point that they might go down.
I think
Russ, what do
like
you
what
think?
like I've kind of grown quite fond of the Everton because of the fans. I think the fans are so passionate. Like, and I remember that David Moyes' time when United would come against them, it was always a tough game. Like they always play with a lot of passion. That's one thing that
Mm-hmm.
you can never you can never
Fault them.
talk bad about
Mm-hmm.
Everton. Like they always give their full, especially when they play big games. But now looking at the team now, they
Mm-hmm.
lost a lot of key players. Like Calvert Lewin
Mm-hmm.
has been wasn't isn't there for them. Like he's injured half. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think majority of the season, I don't think how many games he played, but he's their main goal scorer, and losing him is a big thing. And they lost Anthony Gordon, which they shouldn't have sold because I feel like they should let him go at the summer, just not in January.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you're not you don't have a lot of star players in your team, you cannot let go of
Yeah.
the main ones. And then it's a very sad sign to see because they have a lot of problems with managers as well. I think the board, there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
problems going back and forth between the board and the fans, and so like if they go down, it'll be a very sad sight because like you're so used to seeing Everton in the league. I mean, going Goodison Park is a even though when like it's a hostile environment, but you can see the passion like running through that stadium. It's a very
Mm.
nice atmosphere, especially. So hopefully they don't, but
Uh,
I'm leaning towards them going down. Sadly.
I will actually I'm gonna counter that by saying that I hope they go down and I will enjoy it because like I have never liked Everton. I only thank them for one thing, and that's
Delaney.
selling us Wayne Rooney. That's about
Oh,
it. That's the only thing I'll ever give Everton any credit for. I think while you would describe their crowd as passionate, I describe them as nasty. They bay for blood. They you know they are so, what's the word I'm looking for, they're just not a
hooligans.
pleasant group of folks. I wouldn't say hooligans because I don't know how much violence they commit outside of the stadium.
Okay.
But the thing is that like they scream blue murder every time their players go down diving or whatever and stuff like that. I just, yeah. And honestly, they have been misrun. They have been mismanaged for so long. Mushiri has crimes that he needs to answer for of how he has run that club into the ground. This was a club that was regularly challenging the top four in the early
Yep.
2000s. Moyes actually got top four in 2004, I believe. No, 2006. Wait, what was the year that Liverpool won the Champions League? 2005. So they got top four in 2005,
5.
and UEFA they had to amend the rules because the Liverpool didn't get an automatic spot until the following season. So that was the year that we had like five English clubs in the Premier League from the Premier League in the Champions League for the first time. So the thing is that like Moshiri has run the club into the ground, and the fans themselves. I don't know. I don't like the fans. I think they're nasty, right? And because they've been hounding players at the training grounds and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like there are things that I mean, there's banter. There's also like criticism. There's valid criticism, and then there's like trapping players outside the entrance of their training ground and demanding that they do something, but the players can't do anything because they're salaried employees. They don't run the club. So they've been directing their anger at all the wrong places. And I just think that if Everton go down, I won't shed a tear. If in fact I'll probably laugh, if they go down. So
savage,
yeah.
savage take of the week from Rafi. Like, yeah,
But
I can't
take a
blame the
look at their
fans.
running
I
though.
can't blame the fans
Yeah.
though. Like, who else can they hound? I mean, they did a chokehold to the, was it the
Mm,
director? Didn't they chokehold?
mm,
Didn't they get in a choke? Oh, that's a bit wild. I mean, yeah, this is the
yeah.
passion. Like, this is the passion we'll be missing if they're gone. Like, nasty or not, that's football for you. There's gonna
Yeah.
be so many sides of it, but then the atmosphere. Goodison Park used to be such a like no like you going to Goodison Park was a hard game. Every team knew, no matter
Hmm.
what team they went there, knew it's gonna be a tough ask to get a result, and they always play like extra hard. So like I think that what I'll be missing. I don't really know about their fans, but their fans' passion, yeah. But I don't know the negative side. I don't because like the football is so. I mean, it's gonna be very different ways people perceive it. But yeah, I mean, look, I think you're gonna go through their running. I don't think they have a very bad running if I'm not wrong. If I last checked.
Okay. So let's have a look at the running. They have Palace away, Newcastle at home, Leicester away, Brighton away, Man City at home.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Yeah, Man City at home, Wolves away, and Bournemouth at home. Yeah, that's their running. Of those matches, you think okay, they can get Palace. They can get Leicester. Brighton would be tough. Wolves again winnable. Bournemouth also winnable. If you take out like if you take Brighton, Man City, and Newcastle, they have a potential one, two, three. If they win three out of their remaining four, three out of their remaining seven, they'll probably stay up. I think, but I'm praying that they don't. Nah, nasty club, nasty fans. Yeah, no, not for me. What do you guys? I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I'm gonna pick, I would I would say Southampton, Leicester, and Everton to go down. I don't want Forest to go down. Like that's a story club. They've won two European titles. They have finally seen the light after being out of the Premier League for so long. They've also given us United fans great memories. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4 goals immediately spring to mind.
Yeah.
They've had some great players over the years. Stan Collymore played for them. Pierre Van Hooijdonk played for them. Like I kind of have a little bit of a soft spot for Forest. Definitely more of a soft spot for Forest than
They got
Everton
nasty
for
fans
sure.
as well. How you know their fans are
Forest,
not nasty? Yeah, you don't know.
ah,
Yeah.
because even after all of the problems with their ownership and management over the years, right? I
Yeah,
don't think Forest fans have ever accosted their own players and demanded that the players do something.
true.
So,
Yep.
so yeah. All right, guys. That's it for all of our segments for today. We have our final segment for the week, where we talk about our heroes and villains of the week. So let's start with our heroes of the week. Farid, go ahead. Who's your hero of the week?
My pick for hero of the week is gonna be Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa. He's been on an insane tear. I guess pretty much since
Hmm.
Unai Emery took over. He's
Hmm.
scored in 10 of the last 12 games he's played for Aston Villa in the Premier League. It's
Hmm.
it's actually comparable to Rashford's run of form in the league as well. So yeah, and
Hmm.
I think he has been one of the biggest reasons why Villa have moved from pretty much relegation contenders to contenders for Europe.
Hmm.
If he keeps this up, I think don't be surprised if clubs come knocking on the door for Watkins next season.
Imagine if Villa had Unai Emery from the beginning of the season. Just saying.
Yeah, wow.
That would be
Yeah.
crazy. So, Russell, who's your hero of the week?
Here of the week will be Anthony.
Anthony, huh?
Anthony is the hero of the week for me. A lot of negative comments going around about him, like not worth the price
Mm-hmm.
tag, like showboat,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
fidget spinner, like a lot of things, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But when it was time to show what he was about, when
Mm-hmm.
he needed to step up, he did. He stepped up last night and created a lot of chances for the United
Mm-hmm.
team. I was torn between him or Bruno, but I feel like Bruno has is always like in a sense been very consistent with his performances recently. So I think I'm gonna give it to
Mm-hmm.
Anthony because yeah, for the longest time, a lot had been spewed about him. I feel like it's not fair because first time in a new league, first season, can't expect much.
Mm-hmm.
But we're always gonna boil down to everybody's to say price tag, price tag, price tag. But I mean,
But
it takes time
it's
for
not.
them. So I think he did very well. Shush the haters up yesterday. They're all looking
Mm,
out for him because they're saying like, okay, now he hasn't have a supporting cast around him like to score goals, whether he can do it. I think he really showed what he's about yesterday.
mm,
So he's my hero of
right.
the week.
Well, my hero of the week. Nice, nice, good shout. I was thinking of picking a United player, but then since you know, we're gonna spread the love a bit. My hero of the week is actually Declan Rice, because like he was the one that led that fight back against Arsenal. For West Ham, kept things ticking over in midfield, won the ball off Thomas Partey to set off the chain of events that led to their first goal. Kept his team as captain, kept his team going, never let them waver, you know, kept on helping them believe that they could do it, and they did. And honestly, Declan Rice is too good for that West Ham team. So yeah, come to Manchester, Declan. The red half, okay, not the blue quarter. The
The
red
blue quarter
half of
doesn't
Manchester,
mean
not the
the,
blue
the, the,
quarter.
the,
The red half. Yeah,
no, but Man City don't need Declan. And I mean they got
no, they don't.
Rodri. I'm just more afraid if they get Jude. Yeah, so Declan is if West Ham like I feel if he wants to reach his potential, like he has to go to I think Arsenal are looking out taking a look at Declan, and I think
Hmm.
United he can be a very good. He can learn from the best CDM in the world,
Hmm.
Casemiro, and really elevate his game. I think like if Casemiro takes him under his wing, wow, what a player
Hmm.
Declan will be, man! Like he's really so good.
Yeah.
Imagine
Hmm.
with like learning from the best to ever do it. So yeah,
Imagine that the choice between learning from Casemiro or learning from Thomas Partey, the guy who he tackled yesterday. I mean, it's no choice, but it's yeah. All
there's
right,
more to
villain of
Casemiro.
the
Yeah,
week.
villain of the
Yeah,
week.
there's way more to Casemiro.
First
Definitely.
villain of the week
All right, guys. Villain of the week. Russell, who's your villain of the week?
has to be Bukayo Costa England the Euro Saka.
Is that
And
his official name now? Did
and
he get it
Bukayo
changed by
gonna
default?
cost yeah no and Bukayo gonna cost Arsenal the title Saka as well. Yep, he's my villain of the week.
Oof. Just
Uh,
from the penalty miss?
but a lot of Arsenal
Mm,
fans are on his ass. Past two games he's been ghosting, and
mm,
Arteta loves him too much to take him off. He played 95 minutes yesterday, and he didn't do
mm,
anything. Martinelli was doing more,
mm.
but he got subbed off. Gabriel Jesus got subbed off when he was the one doing most of the. He was really causing West Ham
Oh.
a lot of problems yesterday, like Gabriel Jesus. But I don't know how Saka stayed on all the way. Like, if you're not having a good game, doesn't matter who you are, you're
Mm.
out. Like, that's
Oh
football. Like,
yeah.
not every day is your game.
Mm,
Not every day is your day. So, like, it's okay to have an off day. Nothing's working for you. But Arteta, like, loves him too much or thinks he's, like, some godsend. I mean, yes, he's been performing well, like,
mhm.
throughout the season, but now it's just a dip in form. I think he has to give him his time, like rest, maybe for him to observe from outside on the side on the touchline to see, oh, maybe I can done this. Like now he's on the field where everything's at 100 miles an hour. you really have time to really look back and see, oh well, this is what I should have done. If you're the sidelines, you can really
Mm,
look maybe and film. But I mean, he has to be checked out as well. Like he's been playing. I think he played
mm,
all the games for them. I think he hasn't missed much games. So I feel like
mm,
with the deep form, I think Ateta is the one. Like even though he's my villain of the week, I mean the penalty miss can be very costly. Like it was such a weird sequence because like Jesus had the ball, Odegaard walked up to
mm,
him, said took the ball and passed it to Saka,
mm.
and that whole sequence may cost Arsenal the the league. And I
The
can really
title.
foresee the title. Yeah, I can foresee the memes I can make.
Mm,
Like, oh, they had the league, they passed it and threw it away. Yeah, very, very, very nice. I loved it, and
mm.
I don't mind him taking more of their penalties. To be honest,
Okay. Farid, what about you? Who's your villain of the week?
Yeah, Saka's my villain of the week as well. Although I feel like it's a bit harsh to call him a villain because he's been doing so well for Arsenal this season. But yeah, like Russ said, I think Saka might be hitting that point where his mentality is really going to be put into question. And
Mm,
if there was ever a time to drop Saka, it now might be the time. I mean, Alex Ferguson used to do this with Rooney when he was in his prime. Like underperforming, I'll bring you off. It's not to say that the player is bad, but it's just to wake the player up, I guess, so that
mm.
it lights that fire in them. And I think that's what Saka needs right now. Is it's sort of like a bit of the reality check to light that fire under his ass, so that he can take it to the next level and hopefully push Arsenal for the title.
Okay. All right. So we've got 2 out of 3 saying that Saka is villain of the week. I'm also going to go for an Arsenal player, but not the one that you're thinking of. My villain of the week, because of his extremely poor goalkeeping technique, has to be Aaron Ramsdale. That shot from Gerard Bowen should not have gone in. And the thing is that like that whole 60-second sequence, yes, it started off comically with Saka missing the penalty, but it ended with Gerard Bowen honestly, side footing the ball into the net with a bounce into it, and Ramsdale falling under the shot while raising his hand at the same time. Now, this is not a title winning goalkeeper, okay? If you can imagine, back in United's title winning days, De Gea would have saved that. Edison would have saved that. Allison would have saved that. When Chelsea were title winners, Petr Cech would have
gonna
saved
check.
that.
Yeah,
Courtois would have saved that. All of these keepers would have saved that. But Aaron, highlight reel Ramsdale, thought that he should go to ground before he had even judged the trajectory of the ball and then flapped an arm at it, right? Basically waving the ball in. That's what he did, right? Yeah, he waved the ball in. He
yeah.
let it palmed it into the side netting. Criminal goalkeeping technique from Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal fans, y'all need a better goalkeeper if you have pretensions of look. You might luck into winning the title this year because it's been a poor title race. So many teams have not shown up for it,
Mm.
right? This is probably again, maybe it's a hot take, maybe it's not. It's one of the poorest title races, qualitatively speaking, in years, right? You might win the title, but Aaron Ramsdale is not a title winning goalkeeper, and he is my villain of the week. Yeah, that's
Brilliant shout because a lot of Arsenal fans are
yeah.
saying that he should be number one for England. I mean, what has he done? He's the last before Arsenal, all the clubs he's played for all got relegated.
Mm-hmm,
He's a relegation specialist. Like if you put
mm-hmm,
him in a if you want Everton to go down badly, you put him in the Everton team, they will relegate. That's what Aaron
mm,
Ramsdale will guarantee. The teams he play for will be relegated. I don't know how many times seen it, and I feel like what you say is highlight reel. Yeah, all he does is all
mm,
that fancy saves. When it comes to the very basic saves or the ones that he should be saving, he makes a meal of it. He try to do something crazy so he can get more for his TikTok highlights or something. I think he likes that. All these new the footballers nowadays like to create all this montage TikTok or something like that. So yeah, brilliant shot for villain of the week.
yeah. I mean, look, like you mentioned Everton that Pickford would have saved that, right? I think if you look at all of the starting goalkeepers, David Raya at Brentford or, all of the other keepers, like they would have all saved that shot because he moved before he had even seen the trajectory of the ball, right? Because again, he thought, oh, this is gonna like volley it into the ground, and I'm gonna have another amazing highlight. I'm gonna look like Gordon Banks doing this, saving from Pele. But like no, Bowen actually, in all honesty, miscues it, hits it into the ground, bounces up, and then he's already on the way down and raising his hand. It's just terrible, terrible goalkeeping technique. So yeah, my shout for villain of the week. Okay, guys, we've actually run way over time. As is per usual, whenever we talk about football, but then that's just the breaks. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Closing thoughts for the week. Any highlight games that you guys want to call out in the upcoming game week before we sign off? What game excites you?
I think the
Ooh.
Champions League matches this midweek it's gonna be quite interesting.
Hmm.
EPL wise, if I'm not mistaken, the next game is Arsenal versus Man City, no?
No, Arsenal Southampton first.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Hmm.
I honestly feel any of the top six games are gonna be a big watch. F- Brentford versus Villa actually might be a sleeper hit. Both
Mm.
teams trying to chase for European spots. They could,
Hmm.
could make for a very interesting match.
Let's just quickly run through the fixtures. Okay, we have Arsenal Southampton, Fulham Leeds, uh, Palace Everton, Liverpool against Forest, Brentford Villa, yeah, as you mentioned, Leicester against Wolves. Ooh, that's a relegation 6 pointer.
Yeah.
Newcastle Tottenham and Bournemouth West Ham. So the other games for the weekend will be the FA Cup
FA Cup.
semi-finals,
Yeah.
if I'm
Brighton taking
not
on
mistaken.
United
So yeah,
and
mhm.
Man City
City
against
versus.
Sheffield, right? Yeah. Sheffield's, yeah. Sheffield United. Sheffield United.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, are we calling it a Manchester Derby final, guys? Well, Brighton look good though.
I hope
Yeah,
Let's
so.
get
I
them.
hope so, but it's gonna be a good game, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But then again, okay. Here's this: if Man United get knocked out of the cup but are guaranteed Champions League football, would you guys take that?
Yeah, sure.
yeah. I feel like
Okay.
Okay.
Menu have been run into the ground by the fixture schedule, and I think any break in the fixtures for them is going to be great in the run in.
Haven't had a midweek break since September.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's a crazy
it's insane.
statistic. This is
Yeah,
the only team in the entire league that has played every 2 to 3 days every week since before the World Cup and after the World Cup the entire season. There are more miles in Manchester United legs than any other team on the entire planet at this moment in time. Absolutely
yeah,
crazy,
which
nuts.
explains their injury list, but yeah, that's another discussion.
Oh yeah, 10 first teamers out.
Yep.
Mm. 10 first teamers out and Phil Jones. Okay, that's gonna be it from us, guys. If you would like to join us for our next episode, please hit us up in the comments. You could be a guest star on this podcast episode, so please DM us if you would like to be involved. If you agree or disagree with any of the hot, mild, medium, spicy mayo hot takes that you've heard today, please hit us up in the comments. Follow us on all of our socials, on all of our major social media platforms. Breathe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye.